But first, a group of Victorian parents are fighting the way religion is taught in government schools. They say the Education Department is discriminating against their children by teaching them about Christianity. As James Bennett reports, the case is now heading to VCAT.
Sophie Aitken's 3 boys all attend Ivanhoe East Primary in Melbourne's northern suburbs.
My oldest son was told that he would be going to hell if he didn't believe in God.
In Melbourne's northeast, Mother Liz, who didn't want to be identified, was told a similar story by her daughter.
At the middle of last year, I was shocked when my daughter came home after a session of religious instruction and told me that she was quite upset because she was aware that I didn't believe in God and that she'd been told that I wouldn't be going to heaven with her.
If these examples are happening in Victoria, I'd want to know about it and I want to be told about it, because we would deal with that, because that is not what we prescribe our teachers to teach.
Both families say they were surprised not just by the nature of the religious lessons, but their school's obligation to run them. Victorian Education Minister Martin Dixon says that's a long-standing policy.
If a trained RI person who's properly accredited approaches a school and offers a religious group and offers their services and says they would like to offer religious instruction at that school, the school is obliged to accept that offer.
If parents want to withdraw their children from the weekly Christian classes, Education Department guidelines require parents' right to their children's schools.
I've opted all 3 of them out of the religious instruction, which means that they've been variously put at the back of the classroom or in the computer cubicle or in the corridor during that time, and they've been given no activities apart from Lego or reading a book or doing a drawing during that time. So they're separated from their classmates.
That, they say, amounts to discrimination on the grounds of religious belief and a breach of not only education and training laws but also the Victorian Charter of Human Rights.
The case is very simple. It's based on the fundamental principle that state and religion should be separate. Within our society there is freedom of religion, and that's a really important principle that we say is being infringed.
Andrea Tsalamandris is the family's lawyer and responsible for taking the case to the Victorian Human Rights and Equal Opportunities Commission.
If parents want to send their children and educate them in Christian belief, there are options available to them, but it's not appropriate to be within the state school system, which is meant to be secular.
Christian group Access Ministries provides 96% of the special religious classes taught in Victoria.
We instruct our people not to proselytise. We're not there to convert children. We're there to educate them in what Christians believe. The basic tenets of the Christian faith in terms of doing good unto all people, loving your enemy, and those values that go with the Christian faith.
That Christian course is taught at 70% of state schools. The government says there is scope for wider religious education as well.
There's also provision within the Victorian curriculum called the VALs for general religious education to take place, which is comparative religions and religion as a culture.
What we object to is the departmental policy which has the religion being taught within school hours, requiring parents to opt their children out rather than opt in.
The Education Minister is a former teacher and principal in the Catholic education system. He's strongly backed the department's opt-out approach and says it's up to schools to make sure all kids are properly looked after.
If a parent wants their child to be part of that program, that's fine. If they don't want their child to be part of it, it's the school's responsibility to ensure that that child is properly supervised and is undertaking activities that are worthwhile.
But some principals have objected to the policy. 730 Victoria has obtained emails from one principal who told the department only 10% of parents at his school wanted the classes. The principal alleges Access Ministries' predecessor, CCES, threatened to make an example of the school and said it would be very embarrassing for the principal if the group had to go over his head to get access to the school. In response, the department told the principal to allow the group to implement its course.
So I can either let my children sit and listen to somebody without being aware of what's being said to them, have a belief system foisted on them, or alternatively I opt my children out and have them treated as though they're the naughty kids.
Today, the Education Department confirmed it wouldn't negotiate over the parents' demands that the courses be taught outside of regular school hours on an opt-in, not opt-out basis. That means the case will now be heard by VCAT later this year. The families involved are hoping to have the policy changed in time for next year.
I think that the risk is that we're creating a school environment that is divisive, that is not inclusive of all peoples and of all different faith groups. And I think that's very damaging. It's creating an us and them mentality in the children.